It's the Hard Hitting Podcast, covering everything New Britain sports. Now here's Jeff Testanero.
Welcome everybody to the Hard Hitting Podcast, right here on HCSN, covering all New Britain sports. I'm Jeff Testanero, and I'm still taken aback about what happened in East Hartford on Saturday. It leaves a pretty crappy taste in my mouth. I don't know about you, but it leaves a pretty crappy taste in my mouth. Oh, Saturday, the Blue Devils, UConn, the Rent, turned into a house of horrors for the Blue Devils. Man, I am so taken aback that I needed 2 extra days just to digest and figure out exactly what happened. Exactly what happened. But it was hard to figure out exactly what happened when the loss was that bad. That bad. I'm not going to lie. You know, when I was doing our last episode, I was getting fired up. As we were coming up on Saturday, I was getting fired up. Maybe the Blue Devils could pull it off. Maybe the Blue Devils could have come out and upset UConn, or at least gotten close. But they didn't. It was that bad. It was that bad. UConn, 59. CCSU, 13. I'm going to say that again. UConn, 59 points. 59 to CCSU's 13. That's bad. That's very bad. That's badder than bad. That's just bad. Just bad. Bad, bad, bad. How the hell do you give up 59 points? Like how do you give up 59 points? You can point all the fingers. UConn's a better program. No, they're not. It's UConn football. I haven't seen a score this bad since I watched UConn football lose to Oklahoma in the bowl game a few years back. 59 points. How the hell do you give up 59 points? And I thought the TV rights deal for this game was bad. Because the TV rights deal was bad. WWAX? What the hell is WWAX? And why the hell are 2 Connecticut teams playing on a station that nobody gets? I'm sorry. My parents have basic cable still. Does anybody still have basic cable that's watching or listening to me? No, you're streaming. Yeah, you could have gone over to UConn Plus. But if you're a Blue Devils fan, you got to pay every month for the UConn streaming subscription? No. WWAX? This game should have been on mainstream Connecticut TV. This game should have been seen by every single, or had the option to be seen by every single human being in the state of Connecticut and maybe southwestern Massachusetts. Maybe parts of Rhode Island. But every single person in the state of Connecticut should have had access to this game. Put it on WFSB. UConn, it was UConn's TV deal. Call up WFSB, WTIX. Something. Listen, you want at least one viable college football program in the state of Connecticut. Okay? Everybody's saying UConn, whoever, the Blue Devils could do it. One viable college football program in the state of Connecticut, then you have to give the state full exposure. You have to give the teams full exposure across the state of Connecticut. You have to give the entire state, including those who just use streaming services for TV, access to this game. It has to be on a mainstream Connecticut TV network. No offense to UConn Plus. It has to be. And really no offensive to WWAX. I think that's the call letters. You know, you got a UConn football contract. UConn Athletics. CCSU Athletics. Somebody get on this. Somebody get on this. You just have to. You just have to. It has to happen if you want a viable college football program in the state of Connecticut. I'm sorry. Instead, I got stuck with, what was it, Tennessee and Ball State? I don't want to watch fucking Ball State. I want to watch the Blue Devils. I want to watch the Huskies. Or did I? Apparently, I didn't miss much. Get with it. Get with it, please. Let's find a viable TV option or a streaming option for the next game. Who's the next Blue Devils game? AIU? Let's figure that out. Call me. I'll stream it. I'll come to your games and shoot it and stream it and do my best to do play-by-play. Anyway, back to the ass kicking at the rent. There were early moments that looked good. But early momentum for the Blue Devils got lost. You know, strong opening for CCSU. Blue Devils capitalized on a botched punt snap by UConn, which resulted in the ball sailing over the punter's head and the Blue Devils recovering it on the Huskies' 5-yard line. Howard comes in. Offense comes in. They finish the drive with a 2-yard touchdown run to make it 7-0. Good start. But that would be the only Blue Devil touchdown of the day. One touchdown all day. That was truly their last offensive spark for the Blue Devils. Like, that was it. Opening punt. First drive of the game. UConn punts. Bad snap. Over the punter's head. I can't whistle. Over the punter's head. 5-yard line. Fumble recovery. Punt, snap, botch recovery. Here comes the offense. Give the ball to Howard. It's the 5-yard line. Perfect. That's what you're supposed to be doing. First and goal on the 5. Run the ball. You gave it to Howard. Howard powered it in. Gets a touchdown. Beautiful. But that was your last offensive spark of the game. UConn seized control and never gave CCSU a sustained response. All game. UConn's offense outclassed CCSU in every phase of this game. UConn piled on 638 total yards, 388 passing, 250 on the ground. They established dominance from the first half onward. They said, forget this. In front of the largest crowd at the rent since, 2013, I believe the stat was? CCSU managed just 257 total yards on offense. 257 total yards on offense. Stark contrast to UConn. Highlights the struggles in gaining and sustaining momentum on Saturday at the rent. The Blue Devils generated only 13 first downs. 13 first downs are all the Blue Devils got, compared to UConn's 26. If you're not going to win the first down battle, you're not going to win the game. If you're not going to win the turnover battle, you're not going to win the game. That's just the way it is. They limited their ability to control the clock or field position. Losing the first down battles limits your ability to control the clock or field position. It's It's basic strategy 101. Do they teach strategy at CCSU? Because I think the offense needs to take that course. I really do. UConn completely shut them down on offense. Completely shut them down. UConn 26 first downs. Central only had 13. Like, it's unbelievable. Oh. We're going to talk lack of offensive production and execution. We're going to go further into the offense. But first, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
It's the Hard Hitting Podcast, covering everything New Britain sports. Now here's Jeff Testanero.
Welcome back to the Hard Hitting Podcast. I'm so verklempt, I can't even speak the name of my own podcast. Welcome back to the Hard Hitting Podcast, right here in the Hardware City Sports Network. I am Jeff Testanero, and we're going over the total debacle that is Central's football game against UConn Saturday in East Hartford. We went over positions. We went over, lack of offense as a whole, but we're just going to break down production and execution. Because quarterback Brady Olson was held to only 8 for 19 passing yards for 118 yards. 8 for 19 through the air. No touchdowns. 118 passing yards. Clear sign that UConn's defense neutralized that passing threat. UConn shut Olson down hard. You can't win a game when you're only passing for 118 yards. Running back Elijah Howard, found the end zone early, botched punt snap, scored for 5 yards. He totaled just 11 carries for 59 yards. Dude only got 59 yards. After that, they just completely shut him down. Like he was a non-factor the rest of the game. Top receiver, Dave Pardo, 2 receptions for 64 yards, which is just further indication in the inability to exploit big play opportunities through the air for the Blue Devils. Nothing was going. Absolutely nothing was going for the offense. UConn's defense, too strong, too tough, too big. Olson only went 8 for 19. He threw the ball 19 times. And Pardo only caught 2 of them. 64 yards from your top receiver. That is absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. Howard looked like he carried the offense, but only got 59 yards total on the ground for the game. Your big 3 just didn't pull it off. Defense wasn't any better. The Blue Devils' defense wasn't any better. UConn's attack was too much. It was too much for the CCSU defense. UConn broke the game open early with explosive offensive plays. Bell's 80-yard touchdown reception, Cam Edwards' 73-yard touchdown run, multiple scoring drives, clearly, because they put up 59 freaking points. It made defensive containment absolutely impossible. There was no defensive containment. Who are we kidding? I put that in there to be nice. There was no defensive containment. You gave the Huskies scored 59 points. I'm going to keep pushing that number. 59 points. Ugh. I don't know, man. CCSU, they never recovered defensively. UConn came in early. They hit hard. They crushed any chance of a CCSU comeback super duper freaking early. So what exactly, in summary, what exactly went wrong here? Let's see. Missed early leads and momentum shift errors. Very low yardage, practically no first downs, no production, fast-paced scoring and big plays neutralized CCSU from UConn's defense. UConn's offense came out and destroyed CCSU's defense. The defensive battle was just overmatched. CCSU was unable to stop UConn's multi-dimensional offense. UConn looked like Alabama on Saturday. Swallow that for a minute. Actually, didn't Alabama lose? Alabama in its heyday. Or USC in its heyday with Leinart and Bush and those guys. UConn looked like a pro team against the Blue Devils. Yeah. In short, CCSU started strong, overwhelmed by UConn's superior execution, explosive offense, and depth. Defensive breakdown and limited offense output prevented CCSU from gaining ground after UConn took away that early lead, scored on the first play of the game, and they had nothing else for that. UConn completely shut them down. Scoring by quarter, CCSU first quarter 7 points. That was that touchdown by Howard in the beginning. UConn put up 14. Second quarter, CCSU only 3 points. UConn put up 21. Third quarter, CCSU put up 3 points. UConn put up 10. Fourth, CCSU put up 0 on the board. They put a big old fat 0 on the board. UConn put up 14, 2 touchdowns. So look at that. So first quarter was the Blue Devils' only touchdown from 5 yards. Then it was field goal, nothing. UConn, 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns, touchdown and a field goal, 2 touchdowns. That's just not good. That's just not good. I'm assuming the kids got Sunday off. I hope they have them on the field on Monday. I know it was Labor Day, but whatever. Blue Devils are back at it Saturday versus AIC Blue Jackets. Home game in New Britain. Let's just hope for a better showing versus the AIC so the Blue Devils can maybe pull something together. Final score, UConn 59, CCSU 13. Dominant home opener for the UConn Huskies. When we come back, we'll go over all of the upcoming games this week for the Blue Devils. So we'll be right back.
It's the Hard Hitting Podcast, covering everything New Britain sports. Now here's Jeff Testanero.
Welcome back to the Hard Hitting Podcast on HCSN. I am Jeff Testanero. Going over some of the upcoming games for Central Athletics this week. Women's soccer, September 3rd. That's today. They're at UMass Lowell. 6 p.m. on CCSUBlueDevils.com. Why couldn't they put the football game on that? Not that you wanted to watch it because it was freaking disgusting. Friday, September 5th. Women's volleyball. CCSU versus NJIT at the Seton Hall Classic. And Saturday, football's back at it. September 6th, CCSU versus American International AIC. The Yellow Jackets in New Britain. Start time, 6 p.m. All right, Blue Devils. Deep breath. Woo-sa. Bring it together. Go out and kick the Yellow Jackets' ass. Put up 100 points against AIC. Put up 100 points against AIC, and maybe we can feel better about that. So till then, I will be back Friday for a further breakdown of Saturday's matchup against AIC, live from New Britain. Till then, for the Hard Hitting Podcast, I'm Jeff Testanero. Go Devils.
The Hard Hitting Podcast is a member of the Hardware City Sports Network.